Go ahead and bring in ABC News contributor and former Secret Service agent Don Mihalek joining me now for more on this, to analyze this investigation, really, because, Don, there are so many questions right now. That DNA that authorities are now analyzing, what will they be looking for?
Well, they're going to take that DNA evidence and they're going to run it against the national database. Right now, whenever you're arrested in most places in the United States, they take a swab and they keep that swab in a national database. So they're going to run it against those to see if potentially the individual was arrested before. And then further, they're going to do a genealogical DNA match where they'll partner with some of the private corporations that do genealogical testing. And then they'll eventually run it to see if they can link it up to somebody who either had their DNA tested by one of these companies or potentially a family member, which could point them in the right direction of who may be responsible for this. It's a pretty lengthy process, but it sounds like they're going to go through with both sides of this process.
Don, I keep thinking about those ransom notes that we saw early on in this investigation, but really there's been no negotiating happening. Now we're almost at the 2-week mark. So how does an investigation like this change as more time passes? Because we haven't been seeing any more of these ransom notes.
No, and the ransom notes, even when they were sent, they were unable to be verified. And this is the most atypical, unusual kidnapping I think most have ever seen, because typically with a kidnapping, when somebody, if the kidnapping is for money, somebody opens up a line of communication with the family, they negotiate, they come to an agreement, the family pays, which Savannah has said, we will pay, and then they release the hostage. In this case, that's not happening. There's no line of communication with the kidnapper, which makes you wonder what really is going on here. Was this really a kidnapping? Was it a kidnapping that went the wrong way? Or was there another nefarious plot? And I think the thousands of tips that are coming in, the end result is some of what we saw last night with the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office responding to this home, because they have to now follow up on each and every tip that has any veracity to figure out if this person does indeed have anything to do with the disappearance of Ms. Guthrie. And they also have to be prepared when they respond to these scenes for potential hostage rescue, which is why you saw the SWAT teams there, just in case they do get to a home. There is a suspect, Mrs. Guthrie is there, and the suspect, of course, is not just going to let him into the house. So they have to be ready for a kinetic response as well. I think we'll see more of these false starts, if you want to call it, where they're going to follow up on tips. They're going to go places. They're going to run down the investigative leads until it pans out, whether it pans out that it's a positive lead or, like last night, it's a negative lead.
All right. One of the most confusing cases for sure. Don Mihalek, thank you so much for joining us.